Gunfire echoes across a quiet field in rural Alabama. The night is still, except for the tension that seems to vibrate in the air. Men stand in a long line, each one blindly placing a hand on the shoulder of the man in front of him. Instructions are clear. Any betrayal will be killed. The sound of a gunshot cracks through the darkness. Boom, boom. Every man in that field stiffens. Fear and anticipation hang thick. It is April 21st, 2017. Among the participants is an unusual figure, not a member by heritage or ideology, but an agent of the FBI trained to infiltrate and dismantle dangerous groups from the inside. His name is Scott Payne, a man whose presence alone, 6 feet 4 inches, 260 pounds, covered in tattoos, commands attention. But in this moment, his identity is hidden beneath a mask of loyalty, a participant in one of the country's oldest and most notorious hate groups, the Ku Klux Klan. Payne's mission: record, observe, and ultimately prevent planned acts of violence. Every movement, every word, every ritual is documented. He is there to gather evidence, while everyone around him believes they are sharing a sacred secret among brethren. Scott Payne's story did not begin with law enforcement. It began in the shadows of adolescence. At age 14, his parents' divorce sent him down a path that was both curious and dangerous. He was drawn to the darker sides of life, experimenting with mock rituals, watching diabolical horror films, and testing boundaries with friends. One night, at a friend's house, what started as playful reenactments of possession escalated into something far more disturbing. While pretending to be possessed for a short scene on a couch, Payne's imagination, and perhaps something deeper, conjured a vision that he would later describe as demonic. A watery, red-hued figure appeared before him, grinning, with long, crooked fingers beckoning him closer. The experience shook him profoundly. That moment became a turning point. Though his fascination with the darker arts had driven him there, it also planted the seeds for a spiritual awakening. Payne realized he could no longer simply indulge in reckless behavior. He began turning toward faith, channeling his curiosity into a more disciplined life. This early confrontation with fear, darkness, and morality would shape his approach as an undercover agent decades later. In 1998, Payne joined the FBI, stepping into a world that would test both his physical limits and his psychological endurance. By 2002, he earned a slot in the FBI's specialized undercover training at the Quantico Academy in Virginia. The program was grueling. Candidates endured weeks of sleep deprivation, simulated high-pressure scenarios, and constant psychological evaluation. Only the strongest, most adaptable individuals survived. Payne thrived under this pressure. Each obstacle, each challenge, was a puzzle to be solved. He drew inspiration from FBI legends like Joe Pistone, the agent who had infiltrated the mafia as Donnie Brasco. Meeting Pistone in person was surreal for Payne, as he absorbed decades of knowledge on long-term undercover operations. Graduation opened doors to assignments few agents could handle. Payne's physical presence, Southern accent, and understanding of blue-collar criminal culture made him an ideal candidate for infiltrating gangs and extremist groups that valued toughness and authenticity over formal education. Payne's first major long-term operation involved the Outlaws Motorcycle Club, the fiercest rivals of the Hells Angels. Known for drug trafficking, organized theft, and extreme violence, the Outlaws were not easy to penetrate. Using the alias Scott Calloway, Payne posed as a hardened criminal with cross-border connections. Over 18 months, he earned their trust by drinking with them, riding alongside them, and even engaging in staged fights. Among the Outlaws, he formed a particularly close bond with a member named Scott Town, someone he described as a mirror of himself. Tough, loyal, and deeply embedded in the outlaw lifestyle. Through his careful documentation and patient relationship building, Payne orchestrated a staged drug deal at a Holiday Inn in Brockton, Massachusetts. The sellers and buyers were FBI agents, and Payne's team monitored every detail. The outlaws, unaware they were part of a sting, provided armed security for what they believed was a high-stakes exchange of 40 kilograms of cocaine and over 1,000 pounds of marijuana. When the operation concluded, arrests were swift and comprehensive. 15 members of the outlaws were charged, receiving sentences ranging from several years to over 2 decades. Scott Payne, his closest confidant during the operation, received 7 years. Their final conversation was poignant. Both men acknowledged the bond they had forged, saying, "I love you, brother." Minutes later, the SWAT team moved in, ending the illusion of camaraderie and cementing the reality of justice. By 2017, Payne shifted focus to domestic extremist organizations. He connected with the Ku Klux Klan, popularly known as the KKK, specifically a faction still active in Alabama. Through a combination of research, disguise, and social engineering, Payne established contact with a recruiter known as John Jack, a man whose devotion to Jack Daniels earned him his nickname. Using his credibility from past biker gang operations, Payne positioned himself as a sympathetic outsider interested in participating in Klan activities. The rally took place on April 21, 2017. Armed members, including security forces dressed in black, patrolled the perimeter. Payne attended initiation ceremonies, studied Klan materials, and participated in the rituals, all while remaining undercover. During one ceremony, new members were blindfolded and instructed to place their hands on the shoulder of the person in front, kneeling as they swore allegiance. Payne learned the group's internal culture, symbols, and hierarchy. That night, he effectively became a naturalized member of the Klan, though his true mission remained to observe and prevent violence. The operation was short-lived. Membership and activity were declining, and intelligence indicated that a far more dangerous group was emerging elsewhere. In 2019, Payne was tasked with infiltrating the base, a neo-Nazi accelerationist organization founded in 2018. Unlike older extremist groups, the base explicitly embraced violent chaos as a method to accelerate societal collapse, a strategy they called the Boogaloo. Payne used online networks to reach out, establishing credibility under the alias White Warrior 88. Through careful correspondence, he navigated their vetting process, answering questions about ethnicity, experience, and skill sets, crafting a persona that aligned with their expectations while remaining safely undercover. In August 2019, Payne attended an in-person evaluation in Rome, Georgia. Members scanned him and his vehicle for surveillance devices. A hidden FBI tracker nearly blew his cover, but he remained composed. Payne passed the inspection and was formally accepted into the group. Over the next several weeks, Payne participated in multi-day training camps where the base members practiced weapons handling, tactical maneuvers, and simulated attacks. Members came from multiple states, and discussions included assassination plans, sabotage tactics, and preparations for mass violence. One particularly shocking event occurred during a Halloween weekend ritual. A goat was stolen and killed as part of a ceremony. Members burned Bibles and American flags while chanting extremist slogans. Some consumed the animal's blood, mixed with hallucinogens. Payne participated minimally, recording every detail. Through these activities, Payne gathered crucial intelligence about the group's capacity for violence, their hierarchy, and specific planned attacks. Murder plots and planned attacks. In late 2019, Payne discovered a plot targeting an Antifa couple in Georgia. Planning included breaching the home, neutralizing occupants, and setting fire to the property. Other members considered attacking participants at a Second Amendment rally in Virginia to ignite widespread chaos. Payne coordinated with the FBI, providing real-time intelligence that prevented these attacks. Arrests. In January 2020, SWAT teams executed coordinated arrests. Key figures included Luke Lane, TMBB, 6 years Jacob Carter, Pestilence, 13 years Patrick Matthews, Punish Snake, 9 years Brian Lemley, Can't Go Back, 9 years William Bilbro, Helter Skelter, 5 years. The operation dismantled the base's U.S. network and prevented planned murders and terror attacks. Scott Payne retired in June 2021. During a ceremony attended by colleagues, friends, and family, June 30th was designated Scott Payne Day. Over his career, he infiltrated biker gangs, the Ku Klux Klan, and accelerationist neo-Nazi networks. He disrupted murders, exposed plots, and helped bring dangerous extremists to justice. His greatest tools were not weapons, but his ability to gain trust, navigate deception, and remain steadfast under pressure. For more true life stories, new and investigations like this, support us as you subscribe, like, and comment. See you in the next one on GeokosmosDocs. We love you specially.